So there's some pretty big news in the world of Bring Me the Horizon that I think is sliding under the radar a little bit for a lot of people, and that is the fact that soon they may be going on an extended hiatus. So Bring Me the Horizon have obviously been one of the biggest names in modern metal and modern rock over the past couple of decades, instrumental in crafting some of the releases that spoke to the most amount of people and really put that type of metalcore on the map, as well as a lot of deathcore on the map, and they've just consistently been one of those names that, albeit being polarizing while doing it, have been one of the most household names in modern metal and rock. So anytime you hear news about them, it's a pretty big deal. And they aren't unfamiliar with a big tumultuous thing. They lost Jordan Fish recently, who was such a brainchild of everything they had done up until that point, and his sheer influence on the band from Sempiternal forward is immeasurable. And so a lot of people were wondering, how was Posthuman Next Gen going to come out, and how would the future of Bring Me the Horizon feel? Because Jordan still had a lot of input on Next Gen, but for the future, he would not. There was a recent interview with Oliver Sykes where he pretty much talked about where the band is currently and where he is currently. And what it really comes down to is they're feeling very burnt out. Next Gen evidently took a big toll and a lot out on them, and I think a lot of that also has to do with what's been going on behind the scenes with Jordan leaving the band and that sort of stuff. I would not be surprised if that didn't really shake the band to its core, both for their live performances, which had been built on the chemistry of Jordan and Oliver kind of swapping back and forth, but also the input that he had on their music. So regardless of how you feel about Posthuman Next Gen, it obviously was going to have a massive impact on the band. And so following that, Ollie pretty much said that the band is going to go on a hiatus soon, and whether it is the coming year or 2026, he wasn't really clear on when exactly that is going to be. And the big takeaway is that there probably isn't going to be much new music from Bring Me the Horizon for quite some time. And this is a big deal because we have never went that long without new Bring Me the Horizon material. But fret not, there might be some B-sides from Posthuman Next Gen. That is what I gathered from it, is that there are some songs that didn't really fit on there, that were maybe unpolished, unfinished, whatever it may be, that might be released as an extended version, as he said, but the chances of getting brand spanking new material or collaborations, it is very slim. Supposedly, Ollie is just very fucking tired. He is exhausted, and the band feels similarly. And outside of some of the bigger festivals that they are going to be playing next year, they were asked about, like, are they going to be touring? Is that something they're still going to do? And the answer was pretty unclear, but it boiled down to, if you read between the lines, probably not. So not only are you not going to be getting new Bring Me the Horizon material, they're probably going to be going and hiding. Because one takeaway is Ollie said that it's normal for a band to kind of take a little bit of a break in between records. Evidently, they really didn't. And the one time that they got a chance to rest was during quarantine, and even then, that's when Posthuman Survival Horror came out. That's why that record is entirely just peppered with a ton of dystopian vibes and things that really lined up with what was happening socially and culturally in the world at the time because of the pandemic. And so they were writing that in quarantine. It's not like they were getting a chance to have a break. And then once the world opened back up, they immediately got back into touring and working on Posthuman Next Gen, which is a massive record in terms of runtime and the amount of songs that were in that record, let alone all these B-sides that he's talking about. And so when you combine that with the fact that they have toured very extensively, that they are consistently one of the biggest bands nowadays, as well as just not getting a chance to have a break, and losing Jordan Fish, who was one of the most instrumental parts in their success, you can kind of see why they need to take a little bit of a step back. So there is a very high likelihood that going into next year or 2026, either or, Bring Me the Horizon might just go into hiding for a little bit. And that is something that they have not experienced after decades of being as a band, and fans have not really been used to them taking a hiatus or going away or not having some sort of new material. And I'm sure that they won't go silent entirely, because like he said, they're probably going to release some B-sides or an extended version of Posthuman Next Gen with some extras, but it's not really going to be a ton of new releases or a new music video. Probably they're not going to be touring a fuck ton. So it is interesting, and it's a cool point in their history that I am excited to see how it fleshes them out. And he also said there is more to be told about the Posthuman series, and that there is some more stuff that he wants to explore. So I feel like most likely it's going to end up being like a trilogy, maybe after they refresh themselves a little bit and get a solid grip on what they want to do in the future as a band. We might end up seeing like a third installment of the Posthuman series, I think it's pretty unlikely that they're going to come back and drop something that is completely diametrically opposed, considering how much their aesthetic and their general identity right now is wrapped around this post-human world that they've built, and Ollie himself said that there is still more to explore with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe after they go into hiding for a little bit, recharge their batteries, figure themselves out somewhat, they maybe come back with like a final record for that series to sort of cap it off. Maybe it could be based on what they realize when they take a step back, and I'm pretty excited to see that, because the way that survival horror versus next gen came out, they were so linked but they were so different, and he said that he wants a new era of the band. When they come back, he wants it to be new aesthetically, a new sound, that sort of thing, and that is what's cool about Bring Me the Horizon. They're always going to be reinventing their style, and even if you don't enjoy it, you can at least respect and admire that they are not sticking to a specific formula or pattern whatsoever, and that is what he consistently wants to do, is he wants the new era of the band to encompass a new era of the band. He wants it to be a different aesthetic and sound, sonically, visually, whatever you want to say. He doesn't want to stick down to the same thing, and once again, think that's really exciting, think that's really interesting, and when and if whenever they return to making new material, I feel like it can't be a bad thing to take a step back, because he said that they kind of lost the view of the full picture, and you know, I hope they can figure out that full picture in the end. What are your guys' opinions of this topic and Bring Me the Horizon potentially going on hiatus? You can let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts, agree or disagree. There is no wrong answer. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.